Welcome to our LanguageCert International ESOL exams. Today we'll be sharing with you tips that should help you prepare your learners for their A1 and A2 level writing exams. Candidates need to do 2 writing tasks. Both tasks are mandatory and both of them carry equal marks. Please note that the duration of the reading and writing exams is 1 hour and 20 minutes for both levels. Also note that there are no breaks in between. Now, some more details about the writing tasks. At A1 level, Part 1 requires them to write on a given topic. For example, about themselves, daily life, people, where they live, what they do. And they need to write 4 sentences about it, about 30 words. This task assesses their ability to write short sentences to communicate ideas or basic information. You can see an example here. Part 2 asks them to write a letter, card, postcard, or message about 2 given functions in about 20 to 30 words. This task assesses the candidate's ability to write short, simple text for an intended audience. You can see one more example here. Let's now have a look at the key features of the A2 level writing exam. Here, once again, the candidates need to do 2 writing tasks. Part 1 asks them to write a response to a given letter, message, email, greeting card, or postcard. And the text includes 3 questions, suggestions, or requests. They are required to write between 30 and 50 words. This task assesses their ability to respond informally to a given text. Part 2 asks the candidate to write a letter, message, note, etc., and requires them to include 3 items of content. They need to write between 30 and 50 words, and what is assessed here is their ability to write a neutral or formal text for an intended audience. And now a few tips for teachers that should help prepare candidates for their A1 and A2 level writing exams. At an A1 level, in Part 1, we assess the candidate's ability to write short sentences to communicate ideas or basic information. While training towards Part 1, regularly get learners to produce a few related sentences. You may ask them to write about their siblings, family, home, bedroom, favorite activities or interests, neighborhood, or local shops. Ensure that they can form simple sentences and are aware of word order, tenses likely to be used. An example is present continuous or simple present, pronouns, possessives, sentence connectives, etc. Remember that at A1 level in Part 2, but also at A2 level in Part 1, the aim is to assess the candidate's ability to write short, simple text for an intended audience. At A2 level in Part 2, the aim is to assess the candidate's ability to write a neutral or more formal text for an intended audience. Here are a few tips. Regularly practice the text types to be expected. Examples are emails or letter writing. Clarify that learners need to address all points included in the rubric. Referring to fewer points will once more affect their task fulfillment grade. Remind them to write as much as required so that they do not risk being marked down if they write less. A few more tips. Inform learners that both parts are mandatory and that they need to address both. Ask them to read the topic carefully, underline keywords, and know exactly what they have to do. Clarify that if they write more than required, they will not be awarded extra marks. Ensure they practice email and letter writing and know how these text types start and end. Remind them to always think of the grammar to be used, which tense to use and why. In class, get learners to use cohesive devices and, but, or, so that they know how to clearly mark the relationship between their ideas. Advise them to use short sentences. The more complex their sentence structure, the more likely it is to be inaccurate. Get them to organize their text following these points given questions asked. Tell them it is a good idea to memorize a few cliché phrases or expressions for their emails and letters. Thank you for sending me. Give my regards to. I look forward to. While practicing, tell them they may write a draft, but they simply do not have time for that on exam day. In class, they may write the number of words they have used. However, clarify that they do not need to indicate it in their exam answer sheet. Remind them to write legibly so that the assessor can make sense of their handwriting and responses. Lastly, ask them to plan to finish early and have time for review. A piece of writing can always be improved. We hope that these tips will prove useful while you are training your learners. Don't forget to also refer to the support material we have created for you. Thank you.